Stream countdown restarted, so it's going to be a little longer before we actually start. Apologies, everybody. Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and all variations thereof. And welcome to
Is Lydia okay? Or possibly a tap?
That might be the toilet.
Oh. Lovely.
I mean, from this position, the toilet's like 6 feet on the other side of the wall.
North and Lemon got it. Ooh. Lucian is apparently mute. have we just been sat quietly this whole time?
Oh, my volume slider went to hell, apparently. Not entirely sure why.
Good God.
I apologize, everybody. Welcome, everyone, to the Dawn's Light. You four are greeted by Captain Regano Crail. Regano Crail, for those of you who might be taking notes. You are greeted by Captain Regano Crail as you are set to depart. This tall, gruff-looking man who takes a lot of pride in all the gold gilding along the black iron hull of the Dawn's Light, a magnificent three-masted airship with some incredible feats of engineering built into it. You are all led aboard. You are introduced to various crew members. You are introduced to the few passengers who are around. You note an older couple, the Groans, a mother and father and daughter, the Senthols, a pair of associates, Devram and Frayne, and a older-looking human and a dwarf, March and Corrales. I'm introducing all of these people by their last names. You are also introduced to Mr. Hope, though you're not actually introduced to him, you're just told that he is also a passenger, but he hasn't left his cabin today. You are in
names all at once.
Well,
okay.
we'll...
Would you mind going through that just a little bit slower?
Okay. Well, we'll get to all of the various people and passengers later. I'll give you more exposition later on. But you are all invited aboard. You are assigned 2 cabins. So I need you, as a party, to split yourselves into groups of 2. So pick which of your party members will be your bunkmate for the journey.
Who wants to bunk me?
What'd you say?
I'll go with you, Prod.
Each cabin has 2 bunks.
Wait a minute.
Actually,
So-
yeah, squishy
you're-
people with non-squishy people.
Your party will be split down the middle, basically.
Yeah, I'll go with Prod.
Okay.
I'm down for staying with Prod as well, though.
Fight amongst yourselves, ladies. You got all the time in the world.
We've had that conversation. Well, it seems almost prejudiced to put all the dragons in one room, but I guess okay.
What?
Isn't that affirming?
Oh, well, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Dragon affirming.
Dragon affirming. So, if there are no qualms, which Prod and Arcus, which side of the ship do you want to be on? Port or starboard?
Left or right?
Which way is that again?
Port is left.
Port, because it's the name of a
Okay.
drink.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say port.
All right. So you 2 are on this side, and Ingvar and Ingvar and Darren are on the starboard side of the ship. The ship leaves Matina with very little fanfare. Once everyone is aboard, once all the crew have finished up their various bits and pieces, I will go over a few things that happened at the end of last session. Arcus, as you were boarding the ship, you looked over the railing down to the ground, you noticed that being loaded into one of the cargo areas was a long wooden box, and 2 figures were accompanying it. 2 figures robed in black, with mouth coverings over their faces. One of them looked up at you. You don't know if it saw you. You were kind of obscured by the balustrade of the ship. But you noticed very distinctive yellow golden eyes, which you have seen before.
Yes.
So that
Where might have we seen these yellow golden eyes before?
The one lizard dude, the Sneeple that got stabbed.
The Steeple!
no,
Oh.
Nope.
No?
no. The last time you saw golden eyes like these was in Belostov. The strange creatures that chased you through the city in pursuit of the artificer / alchemist that you were helping escape.
Witty, there's probably Carnifex guys on board.
Oh, beans.
You do not know if this creature saw you. All you know is that you saw it as it was helping load something into the cargo hold of this vessel. With that being said, I am now going to take you all to a cross-section of the ship so that you can navigate a little more easily. So I'm going to bring you all... I'm going to put you all in your cabins to start with. And then we will go from there. So, Darren is on the starboard side, as well as Ingvar. Prod is on the port side. And Kazuma is lying on a pile of carpets in the cargo hold.
No, I'm staying here.
Yeah. Lying's right there.
I.
Kazuma,
Oh, Kazuma is lying. Okay, gotcha. Now
honestly.
being played by a Drake.
No, Darren is lying. How did you forget your own character name?
No, I'm lying is playing Darren. Kazuma is playing lying.
But then who's flying the airship?
Kazuma just wants to nap.
Uh-huh. Kazuma is napping, in fact, on a pile of carpets that Regano helpfully provided as an area for the dragon to stay.
Nice.
With that being said, the first day gets underway, and you all find yourselves on the Dawn's Light. And let me summon you all to this board. This is the layout of the Dawn's Light.
Whoa.
It is comprised of 4 decks, as well as the Crow's Nest and other stuff, but you shouldn't need to go up to the Crow's Nest. And has a variety of different amenities that you can make yourselves comfortable with. The crew quarters, the crew areas, and the galley and stuff are off limits to passengers. You understand, of course. And you are allowed to explore most of the ship, from the crew cabins to the dining room to even the outer balconies of the bridge deck. Though you're not allowed in the cabin, in the captain's cabin or the bridge itself. So, first day goes relatively smoothly, and here is how we are going to run this. The journey lasts 7 days. Each day, each of you have 2 actions to do investigations, talk to people, generally find out what's happening on the ship. At the end of these 7 days, you must either name a suspect or allow Necronir's City Watch to run their own investigation and come to their own conclusions. This could end up meaning that one of you is found to be the suspect. Okay? So, with that in mind, let's begin day 1. There has not been a murder. You are free to explore the ship as you see fit, and there are plenty of people to talk to.
Yay!
Do I need to make a whiz save?
You have not gone to sleep yet.
Oh, thank God.
It is day 1. You have just launched. You have not taken a rest. You took a rest before. You ended up with a melted pile of gold as usual,
Yeah.
etc., etc.
Okay.
So yeah,
Just having a look around everything. By the way, this is an absolutely beautiful set.
thank you.
I am.
Flattery will get you nowhere in this place.
I know. Don't you worry. I'm thoroughly aware of that. Okay. I'm just seeing what there is to be seen, figuring out what there is to figure out. Okay. So, what was the name of our captain again?
The captain's name is Regano Crail. If you want, I can put that in the chat.
Okay. The post-it notes are being brought out.
Does anyone have like a cork board and some red thread?
I've
Great
got one.
what?
Got some twine and a wish.
There you go. I've put the name of the captain in the in-game chat.
Right. How does one access the in-game chat?
You press space and then you go to the little book in the top right-hand
Ah,
corner.
there it is.
Oh my goodness, I see it. Well, I did not spell that correctly on my first go.
I mean, fairness, neither did I. I thought it was just oregano without the O.
No, Ragano.
Very
Well, you
close.
pronounced it regano, so...
Ragano. Not
Yes.
Regano, Ragano.
Those are the same pronunciation!
They are not.
They
Ah,
are,
that
you
miss.
southern pomp!
I miss the good old-fashioned names of Jim.
Jimothy.
Jimothy.
Oh God.
So, as my action, I'm gonna go
Mhm.
round and introduce myself to everybody that I can. And
Okay.
in doing so, I'm going to remember all of their names.
Okay.
I am likewise going to introduce myself, but I shall do it by the means of supervising prod.
Okay. So,
These are high society people, and I don't want to end up on a list.
okay. The first passengers you meet are the Senthal family. Mr. and Mrs. Senthal and their daughter Melanie Senthal. That is Centhal. They are staying in... Where's my... Oh, where's my ping? Here's my ping. They are staying in this cabin here. So if I give you... Can you see that? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So that is the Senthal cabin. It is a mother and father and one daughter. All human, as far as you can tell. Apparently, from what you've seen, all of the... Well, you haven't seen inside the cabins yet, so you wouldn't know. But you do, as you're sort of chatting to the Senthals, you do look past, and you see that their cabin is arranged with one double bed on one side of the room and one single bed on the other. There's a few wardrobes, a mirror. It's nothing lavish, but it's relatively well appointed. Mr. Senthal is, in fact, a traveling performer. He and his wife are traveling to Necronir for a sort of concert type thing that's apparently happening within the next few weeks. And Melanie comes along whenever they go anywhere, and she's basically her dad's biggest fan. And she's about 6 years old, as far as you can tell.
If you kill the child, I'm going to be very upset.
That's not a no!
What?
That's not a no!
It's not a no.
Ah!
You also notice that each of the rooms has a small placard holder with like a slip of cream-colored card in it that denotes the surname of the people in that room. You note that your cabins do not have these placards, as you were last-minute additions to the voyage. Whereas everyone else seems to have had their trip booked for a little while at this point. This cabin belongs to the Groans. That is Grone. You do not get to meet them. They have apparently shuttered themselves in their cabin, and you can hear the gentle sound of bemoaning airship travel. It doesn't sound like they're having the best time. This cabin is empty when you go by.
Are the Groans an older couple, right?
From the way that the complaints seem to be resounding throughout the cabin, you would guess early 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah. This cabin here is noted as March and Corrales, but you do not find them. You do not find the occupants within the cabin. We'll get to that later. This cabin on this side is marked as Devram and Frayne. You knock, and the person who answers is an elven woman who introduces herself as Anis Devram. And you note, you get a brief glimpse into the cabin before she sort of closes the door behind her. You see in the corner, sort of sitting on a fold-out camp bed, a white dragonborn, though you do not get introduced. And then on the other side of the room, this massive four-poster bed, where Anis seems to be sleeping. And she sort of steps out and goes, "Oh, well, hello. I don't believe we've been introduced. I'm Miss Devram. How lovely to make your acquaintance. What's your names, darlings?"
Oh, hello. I'm Prodigious Maximus. You can call me Big Prod. And this is my esteemed friend, Darren. And we're just saying hello to everybody. We were last-minute passengers. I'm a paladin of Killist. Oh, sorry. Killist. Prod said that really, Prod didn't forget. Alfie has been practicing their Swedish, and has Killist has been replaced with Kavina, which is woman. In my brain.
My god, woman.
My god, woman. My paladin of Callist, and this is my wonderful dragonborn friend. We're just saying hello to everybody, seeing what the vibe is, seeing if we're going to hang out. We're going to be here for 7 days, and we're looking to play some cards with some people and have some fun.
The vibe you get... Actually, roll me an insight check, Line.
Oh boy.
I love the fact that it's not Prod.
Prod is chatting away, but lying is watching. That's what lying is here to do. Darren is watching. So, roll me an insight.
I am struggling to pull up the symbiote. 1 second. The heck is my symbiote list got? It's currently just where chat is. There we go.
Alright.
Okay, insight check. I have proficiency, so I can't roll lower than 16. Blair. Not that it matters.
Okay. This woman is, as far as you can tell, a practiced businesswoman, and she is very good at hiding her emotions. However, you are also very good at reading people. The first thing you realize is that the moment Prod opens their mouth, this woman's smile goes from pleasant and lively to glass-like mirror of just, I see, you are a person I'm going to have to interact with. I can deal with this. I'm not going to enjoy it, but I can deal with this.
Code switching to masking, I see.
So yeah, that's kind of the vibe you get from this woman. As she sort of goes, "Well, it's lovely to meet you, darlings. I'm sure that we shall get along fabulously. Now, if you don't mind, I have some things to take care of."
Oh, don't
She's-
worry. I'll leave you to it.
It's a
Sort of-
very fetching companion you have. I don't believe I've been introduced.
She sort of, as she goes to open the door behind her and step back into her room, she goes, Frame doesn't really do socializing. And she opens the door, steps in, and shuts it behind her.
Something is very off with that woman.
Yep. Thing is, why wouldn't someone show off the fact that they've got a Dragonborn friend? That's like the coolest thing you can have.
Yeah. Even putting aside the flattery in that. Yeah. That is odd. And why does she seem to have like a cot instead of a bed? Like, she's not lacking for money. She could get another bed. Oh.
Maybe friend was a last-minute companion? But no, otherwise their name wouldn't be on the door. Maybe she's just a bitch. I say that very quietly.
Hey guys,
Okay.
how's the accommodations going?
And we say hello to the next people if we can.
All right.
Cash just lets up a little huff.
Okay. So you go to the next two rooms, which are slightly separated from the rest of the ship by the sort of cargo areas that surround one of the mast holes. You knock on the
Hang
door.
We haven't... Hang on, let me... Yeah, we haven't...
Did we miss a room?
We missed a room. We missed B3. I've labelled all the rooms already. So that's starboard, the third one. Yeah, that one. The one
Just
after
use the
storage.
gesture. Those people are not in at the moment, and I will explain why in a moment. You'll
Fantastic.
get to that in a bit. Don't worry. I have
Plonk.
accounted for it.
How they're
so-
getting murdered.
Very quickly, this room has no plaque on it, and it is apparently empty, as far as you are aware.
Uh-huh.
This room has the plaque Hope on it. This person's name is apparently, or surname is apparently Hope. When you knock on the door, you hear a gruff voice from inside saying, "Go away."
Hey there. Don't want to get up. You don't want to get up on the wrong foot, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah, just respect that.
A few minutes later, you head up to the main deck, where you find... ooh. Oh no. Okay, that's fine. One of my minis just disappeared below the floor for a second, and I was a little worried. Okay, so you both head up to the main deck, and you find a pair of figures talking to the captain, Captain Regano. The figures, as you get close, you hear chatting between them, or more like a heated argument, actually, as Regulus March and Sen Corrales speak to each other and the captain. Regulus is talking to a dwarven companion who has a pupper with him, dog, and he's going, "Well, no, but there's only one bed. You said you booked. You said you booked two, a twin." And the captain turns and goes, "Well, I'm very sorry, but all the arrangements were made in advance, and we were told you would only need the one." And Corrales sort of turns to Regulus and goes, "Well, Look, I booked two. I know I booked two. I told them that there would be two of us." And Regulus turns, "Well, apparently not. There's only one bed." And this discussion goes on for a little bit before the captain finally sort of puts his foot down and says, "Look, We can set you up a camping bed if you really want. But until we get to port, there is nothing we can do about the sleeping arrangements. And Regulus sort of looks a little put out by this, and Corrales sort of turns to him and sort of tugs on his elbow and goes, look, it's just for a week. It's not going to be that bad, all right?
Are you gonna fall in love? I hope they do.
And sort of Regulus turns to him and goes, fine, just don't wake me up in the night. And he sort of storms off back down towards the cabins, leaving Corrales. He actually just storms past both of you and leaves you with the captain on deck and Corrales, who is apparently maybe not at fault for the situation that he's left them in, but certainly to a certain degree responsible.
Happens to me all the time.
The captain sort of turns to you and goes, my late arrivals. Hello, how, enjoying the voyage so far? I know we've just set off, but she is a magnificent ship, isn't she? And he sort of gestures grandly around.
She is gorgeous, absolutely.
I'm gonna stretch my arms and my wings a bit and just catch the breeze a little bit. Yes, it's a fine view.
Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
I knew
this
that
ship is traveling relatively fast.
See, that was my next question. My next question was, in fact, going to be...
What's the wind speed like? How likely is it that I'll just get pulled up?
Am I actually able to, like, stretch my wings at all around here? Let's see. As a dirty 20... Oh, that is an 18.
That is an 18.
20, yeah.
I mean, the wind definitely catches your wings and pulls you a little bit, but you've gotten used to them now. You know how to maneuver the wind over your wings so that they don't actually pull too much. So you managed to keep your footing.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
yeah.
certainly quite an assortment of interesting passengers.
Yes, we do get a variety, one might say. All, of course, wealthy and high-paying. These sort of...
We were just introducing ourselves to the passengers down below. We noticed there's a room that doesn't appear to be occupied. Is there a reason for that? Is it in renovation or something?
Yes, no. It's currently just we didn't have enough passengers to fill all the rooms, so it's just empty.
Sorry, friend, but if you just rejected someone a bed.
Well, there's no bed in there, you understand. All the sleeping arrangements are put together a couple of weeks in advance. So every room is customized to the people who are staying within it. So that room is quite literally just completely bare, empty entirely.
Right.
We could set up a camping bed in there, but there's not really much point. It wouldn't be a fun time to sleep on, I can tell you that much.
We didn't see your bedroom. Where do you sleep? I'm guessing up in the captain's quarters.
Yes. I have my own cabin at the stern of the ship, on the bridge deck, so that I can be close to, well, everything.
That's lovely. You run a fine ship here. Thank you very much for having us.
I appreciate the compliment, young man. I truly do. I have spent many a lifetime perfecting this vessel. Well, I say many a lifetime. I have only ever had the one, but it feels like more.
All right, good chat. we'll be playing cards in that little funky area next to the cabins tonight. If you want to join, nothing,
Oh.
Low stakes.
nothing untoward about it, but
Well, I wouldn't mind a game of cards. It's rare to find a proper player these days. But I'll certainly take you up on that offer. I would be delighted.
we'll do.
Mr. Corrales, would you like to join us? And the sort of the dwarven figure sort of turns to him and goes, "Oh, you know what? Regulus doesn't seem particularly happy with me. I've best steer clear of our cabin for the next few hours. Well, why not? Why not?"
Or the mirror.
Okay.
If you'll excuse me, I'm going to check out what other facilities this fine craft has aboard.
Okay. In the meantime, Ingvar and Arcus, what are you two doing?
I'm gonna try something fun out.
Mm-hmm.
I have the detect magic spell.
Yep.
I want to use distance spell on that from meta magic to extend its range.
Okay. Where are you located? Okay, so you're at the front of the...
Yeah,
That's
I'm probably gonna move
okay.
more towards the center or whatever.
Okay, so what exactly are you trying to achieve here?
I kind of want to get a read on the ship if there's any like large magical signatures outside of what would normally be there, specifically outside of like a common school of magic. Like maybe there's evocation or whatever powering the engines or like
Okay,
some
yeah.
solutions with the lights. But like
So you're...
if necromancy's here, I kind of want to know.
Yeah, so you're essentially trying to distance spell a detect magic.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the distance on a detect magic?
I am about to check. Do.
30 feet.
Okay, 30 feet by default,
30 feet.
like you're lying.
So a distance spell would get you about 60 feet. So that would cover
Most of the
about
ship?
half of the ship.
Okay. I mean, like, I
Like-
kind of want to go and focus on most of the rooms, I guess, because that's what I'm
End
guessing, like-
to end, the ship is 230 feet.
Okay. I guess I'll just try and get the rooms around me then.
Hmm.
And, like, whatever upper deck stuff is above here, I guess, since it's a sphere.
I mean, you can... because, like, each of these actions takes about 6 hours, I can say you can cast it multiple times if you're ritual casting. And
I
stuff
can't
like that.
use... Actually, yeah, I could do it 2 times maximum, so I guess I
Yeah,
could cover most
So you
of
could
it.
cover about... You could cover most of the ship. So I'll say you could, in 2 castings, if you did them at, like, equidistant points in the ship, you could cover pretty much all of the ship with that.
Okay, I'll do that then, and I'll burn my 2 meta magic points for today on it.
Okay. So here's what I'll say. There are a lot of magical signatures on the ship. The engines, for one, are blazing bright magical signatures. So
Does
like,
look like they're on fire to me then.
it's more like a dull blue glow that's like flaring up whenever you accelerate and stuff like that. Like they're like very large magical generators basically that are pushing the vessel forward. There's a thin sheen of magic on all the sailcloth as well. That's more like a protective spell, as far as you can tell. Stop it from tearing, keep it from, like, you know, all of that sort of thing. The lifting vessels that are located around the edge of the ship are enchanted as well. With like small runic pieces of magic. Again, this sort of protection enchantment. The 6 cannons that are mounted on the deck of the ship are all enchanted in one way or another. some for distance, some for scattershot type stuff. No specific things that you can figure out. A lot of all of this, or a lot of all of the innate enchantments in the vessel itself are obscuring a lot of the smaller items, like little trinkets that various people have brought with them, rings and amulets and clothing that's been enchanted and all of that sort of thing. You do note that there is definitely something... How do I describe this? Give me a second. There is definitely a form of conjuration magic in the empty room, in the empty cabin. It's subtle, it's not major, but there is a form of conjuration magic going on in there. You note that in some of the cabins there's a little bit of illusion magic going on. It's especially in Devram and Freyne's cabin, you can tell that there's a decent amount of illusion magic going on. But it all seems to be located in rings and amulets and little bits and pieces that have been scattered all over the room, and so on and so forth. The engines are all sort of evocation magic, as far as you can tell. You notice that the Groans cabin actually has a minor bit of divination magic going on in it. It seems like maybe at least one of them has some form of divination ability, though it doesn't last very long. It lasts for like maybe 10 minutes while you're hovering over that area, and then it vanishes. You notice that the Senthal cabin has a small amount of enchantment magic that happens whenever you hear like music start up from the Senthal cabin. You start hearing or visually seeing sort of enchantment magic start to flow out of that room slightly.
Oh no, bards.
That's about it. Other than like the innate enchantments in the ship itself, it's all little pockets of varying types. You do not find any necromantic magic, at least as far as you can tell. It may exist, but if it does, it's hidden below the loudness of all the other types of magic around.
Yeah. I don't feel any of them moving around like a creature would, though. Because it will also reveal magical creatures to me.
If any of them are creatures, I mean, like, obviously the enchantment magic is coming from someone who is playing music, and they do seem to move around, but it doesn't seem to be coming from them themselves. If anything is a creature, it's not moving. I can tell you that much.
In that case, I would like to do an Arcana check on the conjuration stuff I found in the empty room.
In the empty cabin. The empty cabin is locked.
I do that, I go onto my little ring of texting and go, "Hey, Darren."
Okay.
There's a door that's awfully locked down here.
Okay. I mean,
we don't have reason to break and enter, guys. Let's not.
Hey, Darren, meet me at midnight. There's a door that's awfully locked down here.
Girl,
okay.
No, you're getting your beauty sleep.
In the meantime, Ingvar, what are you doing?
He's just chilling up on the main deck. He didn't hear what was going on with the other folk, because he's like, at the opposite end of the main deck, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
He just don't want to chill out here.
Yeah, okay. So you're just sort of taking in the air, relaxation and all of that sort of thing.
Yeah, trying
Yeah.
not to get blown away.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's fair. Give me a quick wisdom check. Just a straight check, not a saving throw, just a check.
Whoop.
Nice. Very
23.
nice, in fact. You sort of lounge out front of the ship. You feel the wind blowing through your hair. It's beautiful. The skies are clear. It's a bit of a stiff breeze. It's cold, but it's clear and it's feels nice. I will say that for the next 24 hours, you get advantage. Just straight advantage on everything.
Ooh, nice.
Okay.
Jesus. Quick, try to make an artifact.
Right. So, I will say that is everyone's first action of the day. You each have one action of the day left. Whether you choose to do it now or at night is up to you. But I will say, in about 2 hours from this time period right now, it will be dinner time, and everyone will gather in the dining room.
Okay.
Oh,
Marcus, how direly do you want in that room?
No, let's not.
It's-
Like, we've got no reason. We've got no reason.
Look,
It's
Here's
obviously
your,
a suspect room.
empty magic room.
Here's the
Ooh.
thing, though. We've been told it's empty and there's nobody in there. Moreover, even if there is actually nothing in there, Arcus is still going to try and get in there. So better I help and make it quiet than somebody come across Arcus fiddling with the lock or something.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I don't fiddle. I have finesse. Thank you very much.
And if
Not
anyone's
spell
in
doesn't-
there, by the way, you're taking the fall for it.
If anyone is in there when I get the lock open, I am blaming Arcus 100%.
I immediately cast Disguise Self to change my face.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
who are
suddenly
you?
there's a person aboard no one recognizes.
Yep.
That'll go well.
Are you certain that's something you want to do?
I can't stop them.
Realistically,
I could-
probably
but
not. I'm
guys,
still gonna be wearing the
is there
same
a way-
robes.
Is there a way you guys can investigate further without breaking into potentially someone who just wants to be left alone's room?
Again, we were told there's nobody in there. There's
Yeah.
no placard
I
around.
have a question though that I think might be important. Where are those hooded figures?
Ah, they left, right? Right? They were
Yeah,
just
which
dropping
room?
off cargo, right? Should we have a peek at cargo instead?
I mean, it's
that's
it's
so
not
much
hard to peek at. Like all the cargo areas are, while they're not necessarily accessible, they are all visible. So yeah, if you wanna, you can.
I'm like
Right,
just
you
desperately
reach
trying
out-
to like Tai Chi this energy of like wanting to break into this, like obviously someone who wants to be left alone's room.
One
Just
way or the
someone-
other, it's better if there's fewer of us around this particular door while I'm jimming it open, so by all means, be elsewhere.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Right, come with me, and I take. I think I take the librarian, and we're gonna go look at cargo, and you're gonna investigate
Okay.
that instead.
There are 3 cargo areas on the ship. Well, technically there's 2. One's in the middle, one's at the front. But the middle one is divided into 2 separate areas on each side of the ship. So, which ones do you want to take a look at?
We're gonna take a look at. Actually, no, librarian, you decide. Which cargo do you want to look at first?
What do my magical eyes see?
I mean, there's magical items, there's boxes, there's crates, there's carpets, there's paintings, there's a lot of stuff. What do you want to look for?
Actually, wait. I'm remembering a very vague plot point. What is the least magical area my eyes can see? Is there any, like, descript dead zone that's, like, out of the blue among other
Like
magical
a
items?
complete magical dead zone. Like, there's just nothing there.
Yeah.
Yes. There's a small magical, like, it's not necessarily a dead zone, it's just like the absence of anything majorly magical. But there is one that's kind of buried under a bunch of boxes in the front cargo area.
Yeah, I want to check that one.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So you and Prod head to the front cargo area. You sort of indicate, and this will be your and Prod's second action for this period, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So you guys sort of... does one of you want to keep a lookout, or are you both just sort of delving into the cargo area? It's not restricted. It's just...
Rod's keeping a lookout.
Okay. Alright.
Mostly
Yeah.
because Prod doesn't want to be involved in whatever's going on.
Librarian.
He's just
you...
trying to have a nice time on this ship, and he wants to go play cards.
Okay.
It's to stop the other ones from committing crimes.
So, Librarian, you step over the sort of the ropes that are kind of keeping some stuff secure. You sort of start pushing boxes aside, and what you find, you don't need to do an investigation on anything like this. It's very simple. What you find, by moving a couple of boxes away, is a coffin.
Oh.
Long, oblong wooden box, slightly indented at the top. It doesn't look like a particularly expensive coffin, but it's not a cheap one.
Hey, Prod.
Yeah.
You wouldn't happen to have access to True Daylight as a spell, right?
I wouldn't. However, I do have, I believe, Detect Good and Evil? Protection from Good and Evil.
You should also have Detect Good and Evil, because you've used that before.
Detect
I
Good
have
and Evil is
Divine
an
Sense.
yeah, Divine Sense. It's the innate class feature.
Yeah.
Can I just quickly Divine Sense whatever's going on over there?
Sure. What does Divine Sense do again? Remind me.
I think it's second level. That's Divine Smite. Never mind.
Yes,
Divine
smite
sense.
the coffin.
A presence of strong evil registers on your senses like a noxious odor. A powerful good rings heavenly like music in your ears. As an action, you can open your awareness to detect such forces. Until the end of your turn, you can know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet.
Okay. Nothing. Well, not nothing. There is definitely, like, a degree of dead energy coming from the coffin, but it's dead, not undead. There is a degree of infernal energy. Not much. But that's coming from the bridge.
Ah,
That's even
Oh.
worse, actually.
that's, Prod chooses not to particularly share that thing, and it's like,
But
no, whatever's in there
as,
is dead.
as a point that I have made before, infernal does not necessarily mean bad. As I've pointed out before, Infernal doesn't necessarily mean bad. Celestial doesn't necessarily mean good. Undead can mean a bunch of things. So, take from that what you will. I don't... Just because it's divine sense, good and evil, doesn't... To me, it's just divine sense, infernal, celestial, undead. It doesn't
Divine
necessarily
sense,
mean...
what's it to you?
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's evil. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's good. It just means that you can sense it. That's it.
All the Infernals are from Brooklyn, though.
Sure.
Oh, that was a woman's
I like that you've just allowed me to canonize the fucking Gargoyles cartoon plot into your world. Thanks for that.
You're welcome, Zeragan.
Right. There's a bit of infernal coming from the bridge, but that thing, whatever it is just dead. Should we have a peek? Or is that road?
While
Hello?
they're just like dealing with that, I'm gonna see what I can do about this lock.
Okay. What are you doing, Darren? You tell.
I'm gonna try and see what, if anything, is actually in the empty room, but it's giving up conjuration.
Okay. Roll me.
Just to put this to bed before we have to spend like a week just trying to chase something down.
Roll me a sleight of hand.
Can't be less than 17. And it's a 19.
Your lockpicks break.
Well, heck.
In attempting to gain access to this room, you realize the lock is actually... You realize all the locks in this ship are actually quite complicated. You realize that you are on a ship full of really wealthy people who don't want to get their valuables stolen by any of the crew because they don't trust poor people. So all the doors have really heavily reinforced locks.
Might need to make you some lockpicks that are magical that just say on the side trickle down economics.
Do I see any magic around the lock?
Um,
Or is it just heavy? Or is it just mundane?
it's mundane. It's just ridiculously complicated.
I see. Well, that's good enough for me. Hey, librarian.
Yeah.
If you want in that room, you're gonna have to get somebody else to open it.
Gotta do everything myself around here.
Yeah,
I
I will
don't-
say,
Be clear,
Darren,
I don't want you in there, yeah?
I will say, your lockpicks are broken now. In order to use them again, you will have to find a way to fix them. That will take up an action during a day.
I see.
Or you hand them to me and I cast mending.
Yeah, that's that. That's then your action.
That will still take an action during the day. Like,
Hey,
you can
really? Damn.
You can either relegate the mending of the lockpicks to someone else, or you can do it yourself. Either way, it will consume an action.
I'm gonna keep them broken for the time being, at the very least, because I don't expect I'll be needing them, and I don't expect I'll have much luck opening any of these anyways. But to be clear, I only tried to open that door to make you be less concerned about it.
I will say,
more
I
concerned.
don't think any of us is getting into that.
yeah, I am not
Okay.
going to tell you the required DC for these doors either.
I'm gonna believe it's 30.
It might
I have a
be.
really
You
great
don't know.
DC overcoming tool called getting Prod to kick it down.
The doors
Like-
are pretty hefty, but we'll see.
Prod's pretty hefty.
I could maybe
Thank
burn
you,
through it
darling.
with acid, but we're not doing that. That will leave too many clues.
Guys, can we just give up on trying to break into people's rooms and start?
Wait, what's
what
happening with
I'm
the fucking
saying.
coffin, actually? Did you read some evil from that?
No,
My
but
brain
it was mostly
forgot.
it was mostly just like there's a dead person in there. Not undead.
Yeah.
They're just dead.
It's an odd place to store.
Still a little bit weird, but alright.
I think it's actually a very sensible place to store a dead person in a coffin.
Higgledy-piggledy in amongst all the other luggage, though? Like, what if they, I don't know, leaked?
That doesn't
Up
happen.
to
Me?
bars.
Leaked?
They're not fucking slushy! Not yet!
Not yet.
You've been, like, presumably treated with magical formaldehyde or some shit. There's literally a spell that preserves bodies in this game.
I mean, either way, it's not exactly very respectful, is it?
I mean, maybe they're just getting them back. You know, it happens. I'm not worried.
You have to
about
find
that.
some way to transport people.
Exactly. I say to the magical voice in the sky.
It's just your armor. Don't worry about it.
My armor just occasionally agrees with.
Your armor just occasionally goes, well, yeah, I mean, it's common sense, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, right? Right.
Okay.
Let's play. Yeah, Prod's
Yeah,
gonna play solitaire. In this little. Wait, let me get Prod, baby. It's gonna play solitaire
in the lounge area.
in the lounge until slash cards with other people if other people are there.
Mm-hmm.
No bets.
Okay.
Bets happen after drink.
I will give you one small extra piece of ow, leg cramp.
Oh no!
Have you been sitting like homosexually?
No, actually, I think that's why my leg cramped, because I haven't been doing that. I've been sitting normally, and I moved my leg inwards and then outwards again, and then suddenly the muscle went, whoop, that's not right.
Oh no,
Okay.
you poor thing.
I'm good. Right, so, I will give you one small piece of information, Arcus. The coffin hasn't been intentionally hidden, but it has been obscured, in that it's been obscured in a way to make people feel less uncomfortable by its presence. That's what I'll give you. Like, nobody likes seeing
illusion magic.
Like, just the thing of, like, nobody likes seeing a dead body, nobody likes seeing a coffin, so they piled a couple of boxes on top of it so that it can't be easily seen from the stairs. That's basically it.
Well, that's fair.
You're welcome to open it if you want. I mean, it does have, like, a small padlock on it that is generally designed, I guess, to keep thieves away, but it's not anything difficult. You're welcome to open it if you like. It will try to open it, I should say.
You can do that if you want, babes. I'm out. I'm tapped out.
Same. So while I'm over here and Prod's playing solitaire and whatnot, we're just kind of waiting for people to show up, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the captain and Coralis, not Piralis, Coralis, there's an O in there. They do show up eventually. They kind of walk down. Coralis pulls up a stool from the bar.
Before they turn up, though, can I do an insight check on Prod?
Yeah, sure.
Hi.
That
What
is
is that to
a
know?
16.
16. What are you trying to insight?
There was something Prod said a while back that's been kind of at the back of my mind, and this is like more or less the first moment I've had where I'm clear-headed enough to actually like contemplate what the hell it meant. Which was that Prod mentioned something about having his gender affirmed or something like that, and I can't recall. I don't know that I've heard that before.
Okay, so what exactly are you trying to divine from that conversation?
Any kind of meaning of what the hell that means.
I mean, that wouldn't really... Honestly, that wouldn't really be an insight check. The easiest way to get information from that would be to talk to Prod.
Yeah, but I don't want to do that unless I know it's not like
So,
something heinous to
okay,
ask.
so in that instance, give me an intelligence check, not an insight check. because
Okay.
you are not necessarily inciting prod, you are inciting your own idea of what this could mean. So
Right, well,
it is
take
just
take
a straight
the
intelligence
last
check.
roll I did, that would be an 8 in total.
Just roll again, yeah.
Rolling. As a 13 total.
13. I mean, the idea of affirmed gender doesn't, like, you kind of get what prod means by that, but in a more roundabout way. In, like, you didn't really feel comfortable as a dwarf, but now that you're a dragonborn, you feel affirmed in your species, I guess? Like, you feel more comfortable with it, but you're not really sure how that translates.
Yeah,
That's
well,
what you get with a
later
13.
on. Okay, right.
Where's this fucking 4? Prod's like pulling up the
Yeah,
cards and peeking underneath, being like, where the fuck
Yeah,
is this?
meanwhile, I'm just like hunched over, steepled fingers scrutinizing you.
Yeah, so you, Prod, and the captain and Corrales are all sort of sitting there playing a game of cards. You notice the bartender also kind of occasionally looks over, checking to see if you guys need a drink or anything. The bartender is across the other side of the room from the lounge
Oh,
area.
That's so cool. It's like, what? What is that? I was trying to figure out what that area was.
Yeah,
And of course,
it's the
it's a
bar.
bar.
Yeah. I took a while decorating this whole ship so that you guys could have an interesting play space.
I get a mocktail.
I mean, you can order something from the bar if you like.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I get a spicy mocktail.
you guys spend the rest of the... Well, you spend a few hours with Corrales and the captain, sort of talking back and forth, playing cards. Roll me a d4, and we'll see who wins this card game.
Okay.
You're 1,
highest-
Prod,
highest
Darren
list.
is 2, Corrales is 3, the captain is 4. This is just a random chance. Which of you wins? Hey, Darren! Darren wins at cards.
No one put any suspicion on how the rogue won at cards.
Look, you don't look like a rogue anymore. It's fine.
The captain sort of lays down a hand, and you lay it down on top of his, and he sort of goes, "Well, I admit defeat to a master. Well played, my friend." And Corrales sort of just throws down a hand that was just disastrous in its just... Yeah, it was never gonna win. And he sort of throws his hands up in the air and goes, "Well, yeah, no, that's me out. That's me out. I could really go for a meal." And the captain sort of holds out this sort of clockwork timepiece, and he sort of looks at it, looks over at the bartender, and the bartender looks back and sort of nods their head, and the captain goes, "Well, dinner should be in about 30 minutes-ish, so if you would all like to gather up at in the dining room, I'm sure we shall have a wonderful meal, and we shall get you all fed." And he sort of gets up and walks off towards the sort of bridge area of the ship. If none of you have anything else you want to do, Lydia,
Huh?
you have one more possible action today before dinner. Would you like to do anything?
Not really, because he missed the card game, so...
But you,
Oh, did you want to be part of that too?
Oh no, it's fine.
You didn't say anything.
Okay. So, you all gather in the dining room. You see the captain. You see Corrales over here. Pick your seats in the dining room, and I shall furnish accordingly, as it were.
I'm gonna sit next to bro. Bonk. No, wait. I'm gonna sit on the other side of you. Dunk.
You're going to be my right hand man.
Yeah.
You all, as you're all sort of filing in, you see Melanie Senthal sort of rush up to the head of one of the tables and go, "This is my seat." You also see at the other end of the table, Mrs. Groan and her husband sort of sit down. Regulus takes a seat next to Corrales. Miss Devram takes a seat next to Mrs. Senthal. And you notice that Frayne sort of steps out and takes a seat next to her. Frayne, as you're all looking at this white dragonborn, looks very timid, very shy. Sort of makes a point of standing just off to the left and behind Devram, like using Devram as a shield between anyone else, and sort of seems a little uncomfortable sitting down in full view of this whole room, essentially. Eventually, just as dinner is about to start, another figure sort of comes up and sits at the head of this table. And this seems to be Mr. Hope. The final two chairs are taken by Ingvar and... Where's the librarian? Librarian is still in the cargo hold. So, you guys take up these last two seats, and dinner begins. You do notice that there's a few crew members who are waitering, who bring you meals. After the meal starts, maybe about 10 minutes in, as everyone's quietly digging in and chatting, there's a sort of rumble, a heavy sort of thunderous stomp. Like someone really heavy is walking. And then this hulking figure walks into the dining room and takes a seat next to the captain.
One hell of a seat.
It is a very large seat. The seats... Actually, can I scale the seats? I'm not sure. Can I scale the seats? I think I might be able to. Hold on.
Excited Lucian noises. Oh, yep, you totally can.
There we go. Seat scaled. Slightly.
Close enough.
It'll do. And the captain introduces this figure as Joran Roland, the quartermaster of the Dawn's Light. Quartermaster and pilot. He is very proud to acclaim as this figure sort of walks in. And the figure, hulking and massive, these giant claws and all of this heavy fur sort of mantle over his shoulders. But he looks genial and, well, relatively nice if you
What was his
if you
name
don't
again?
mind the giant fangs that protrude from his face.
Now the name?
What was the name?
Jaren Roland. So Jorenrelon. Joran Relon. Sorry, I'm getting my own characters confused. I've spent a long time planning this, and there's a lot of different people here.
Yes. Prod goes, fuck me, he's speaking. In a very quiet voice to Darren.
Okay.
Are you rolling to see if someone heard that?
Maybe you don't know.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, you all dig in. Two waiters start bringing out food and various different things to the tables. The captain sort of stands after Joran comes in and says, "Well, thank you all for joining us for dinner this evening. I'm glad that we could have most of the seats full. We've put a few chairs back in storage, but I'm glad that we could have you all together this evening. I'm glad some of you have recovered from your post-launch sky sickness. I hope that you all have a pleasant voyage with us. Obviously, if there's anything you need, please do let myself or one of the other crew members know, and we shall do our best to fulfill your requests. As you all know, I am Captain Regano Creole. This is my quartermaster, Joran Relon. He will be overseeing our security and the piloting of the ship. There are also our two wonderful waiters and staff members here this evening, Mr. Archibald Khan, and the sort of human waiter gives a small salute as he's serving dishes, and Mr. Fergan Caller. And he sort of gestures to the dwarvish figure in a smart waistcoat who is also serving out dishes. I'm sure that you will all get acquainted with members of the crew as we go, and you, Darren, as you're sort of scanning the rest of the area, you watch as Miss Devram gives a little wince at this, at the idea of associating with the crew. You also notice Mr. Hope is sort of like, he doesn't look particularly happy to be here. The idea of associating with anybody seems to put him ill at ease. The groans seem to be a little... They're bickering between themselves as the captain is giving this little speech. And Mr. Corrales and Mr. Mark are staunchly ignoring one another at the moment. As seems to be the case. The only person who seems to be having any much of a fun time seems to be Melanie Senthal, who is staring at the quartermaster raptly as he sort of rolls his shoulders and this massive fur mantle cascades in waves, this behemoth of a being.
She's gonna climb him like a jungle gym.
She's 6!
I repeat.
She doesn't have the arm strength for that.
You've not met a 6-year-old.
Clearly.
No, I have. I have a sister, remember?
Yeah.
Doesn't
Anyway,
necessarily mean your sister was 6.
my sister is 8 years younger than I am.
And?
She was 6 once upon a time.
Do you know how many 25th birthdays I've had?
I would assume 1.
That's what you would assume.
If you've had more than one, I would be very confused. Anyway, the captain goes on. He talks about the varying things that, the varying places that the ship has been, the varying people that he's met, and he ends the whole speech off by wishing you all a pleasant meal. And the meal begins, and you all tuck in. During this time period, you can choose to talk to people, and I will point this out very specifically. You can choose to talk to the people that you are sat near. So, at the moment, you can all choose to talk to yourselves and Mr. Regalis March, because you've all chosen to sit basically right next to each other. But as time goes on, you may choose to sit in different places and speak to different people. There is no pre-arranged seating arrangement for this. Okay? What?
I talk to Regalis, and I say, shame we didn't see you at cards, but, you know, how are you doing? How are you finding the room and stuff like that? Just trying to make, like, pleasant conversation.
Yeah. Regulus sort of turns to... he's got a slightly tight-lipped... Regulus sort of turns to you. He's got a slightly sort of tight-lipped smile on his face. It's like he's not happy with the situation, but he's willing to make pleasantries, at the very least, sort of thing. And he sort of turns to you and goes, oh, I believe you heard the little outburst on the deck earlier. As you can tell, I'm not best pleased with the situation, and you hear from just past him in the next chair over, Corralis, you hear a mutter of, it's not my fault. And Regulus sort of shoots him a withering glance, and Corralis sort of plays with his food a little, and Regulus goes on and says, but, well, we're making the best of it, I'm sure, and, well, it's only 7 days, after all. I think I can manage Corralis's snoring for 7 days, you know? Yes,
Well, you're going to hear it anyway if you're in the same room, just a little closer quarters.
Yes, well, that is true. Yes. Snoring. Great. He sort of tails off on that. Right. After the meal is complete, you are all sort of, the waiters sort of usher you out to your rooms or to wherever you want to spend the evening, and night descends as you all return to your varying cabins.
I'm going to spend some time on the main deck, just watching the clouds and such go by.
Okay.
For a bit of sleepies.
Yeah. All right. You spend an evening watching the clouds go by. It's quite nice, relatively pleasant.
It's not. It's a very recent thing that I can look at this and not be incredibly nauseous. So.
The rest of the passengers kind of end up going back to their cabins, and you are all left to your own devices for a little while. Night falls. You all go back to your cabins. And you take a long rest. Find yourselves refreshed the next morning. Day 2, you each have 2 actions. What do you choose to do?
Well,
Right, I remember to take the alkaline pills before I go to sleep.
Yeah, sure. You take the alkaline pills before you go to sleep. They taste not great, admittedly.
Like
They taste a little like vinegar and chalk. You wake up the next morning and... Yeah, well, roll me a wisdom saving throw real quick.
+1. Yep.
Actually, everybody roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Dirty 20.
Nice.
Every fucking day, it's a wisdom
Wait,
saving throw.
I know it's wisdom saving throw. My dearest, fucking shit, cunt, librarian. I have a trait which basically means, hang on, wait.
Right, yes, you get charisma
Aura
to
of protection. You get a +1.
because you're sharing a room.
Yay!
The creature within 10 feet of you must make a saving throw. The creature gains
Okay.
bonus.
Lydia, don't forget you roll with advantage on this.
It might actually be a +2. It's a +2. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
+2.
And
Okay, there's advantage.
it's fine.
So the other one was 18.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh Jesus. That's an 8.
Right. Okay.
Hang on. Oh, wait. Eh. That's a 13.
Okay. Darren, you wake up the next morning. No gold on your bed for a change. All kept in your pouches.
Alright.
Pretty decent. Ingvar, Arcus, and Rod.
No.
Arcus, you find yourself, you wake up standing on the lowest deck, balcony, just kind of staring off into the distance. It's kind of weird. You remember going to bed in, like, your own bed. But apparently you sleepwalked to the back of the ship, to the lowest deck, and you are just kind of staring aimlessly out into the distance behind you. Or behind the ship, rather. Ingvar.
Can I?
Hmm.
Can I just check for any residuals of enchantment magic with my magic vision?
Sure. Roll me a perception check to see how quickly you spot this, basically.
I'm gonna guidance myself as well, because I'm a little bastard. Actually, no, I wouldn't have time if it was quick. 13.
Okay. If there was enchantment magic, it was dissipated long before you woke up.
Okie dokie.
Ingvar, you wake up in the corridor outside the Hope cabin. It's early morning. You've managed a long rest, but you definitely did not fall asleep here. Rod,
Huh.
you wake up on the port balcony of the bridge, near a large telescopic array outside the door to the captain's cabin, just as the captain opens the door and steps out and sort of looks a little startled to see you and goes, Mr. Maximus, can I help you?
Oh, no, it's okay. I was just looking at this telescope. I point to the telescope.
Oh,
Right next to her.
yes, a gift from my grandfather a few years ago. Do you have take an interest in astronomy?
Yes and no. Yes, I think it looks pretty. No, I don't really understand anything to do with it.
Well, it takes quite a few years of study to get anywhere with it, to be quite honest. Useful for guiding ships by the stars and so on and so forth, but somewhat tedious, I will admit.
Yes. I'm gonna be honest, every time I get lost, I just pray to Callist and throw my sword in the air, and whichever way it points, I just walk.
That is one way to find your way, I
Get
suppose.
lost a lot.
Yes, well, somehow that doesn't surprise me. Would you join me for breakfast, Miss Maximus?
Oh yes, of course. It'd be lovely
Hmm.
to dine with the captain.
Yes. Please, this way. And he sort of leads you down to the dining room. Ingvar, I would like you to roll me an intelligence check.
Oh, hell. You did say what? What did I just... 19, 20, no, 19, sorry.
Okay. You recognize Mr. Hope. This man is Mr. Maxwell Hope, the chairman of the Hopewell Mining Corporation.
Ah,
Your former employer. He'd been very, what's the word? He'd been very understanding of the situation that had led to your quitting, shall we say. And he'd been very understanding of the whole situation. He was a nice man. He seems different, though, now. He seems very... Maybe it's the airship. Maybe it's just the fact of being so high above the planet itself. But he doesn't seem particularly... He seems a little ill at ease, overall.
yeah, well, Ingvar can understand that with him being a former miner himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, engineer, you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so, you all, well, a few members of the passenger manifest sort of file in for breakfast. It's a much looser affair than dinner is. Few people come in, serve themselves, take breakfast on the deck. Melanie and her father sort of, you notice Melanie has this little sort of flute type thing, and it's a little shrill, but, you know, she's learning. While her father plays this 7-stringed sort of... It's kind of like a lute, but it has this sort of split neck with 7 strings on it, so 4 on one, 3 on the other. It looks like quite an interesting instrument, and they're sort of playing together on the deck, just like sounding off and jamming a little bit. The flute is a little shrill, you will all admit. It seems that Mrs. Senthal has stayed below deck for the morning, at the very least. You also spot Miss Devram, who is sort of taking breakfast at one of the railings, and you spot Mr. Regulus, Mr. March, as it were, sitting on sort of sitting on his own, staring somewhat morosely and tiredly into a bowl of what could be passed off as porridge.
Did we see Mr. and Mrs. Groan?
They do not seem to have come out of their cabin. Neither has Frayne or Mr. Hope. Or Corrales as well. Corrales seems to have stayed in his cabin for the morning.
I go over and chat to Regulus.
Okay. You take a seat across from Regulus, and he sort of looks up at you a little tiredly, and sort of sighs and goes, "Ah, Mr. Maximus,
Hello.
can I help you?"
Oh, no, dear, it's fine. I was just wondering how you're doing.
Well, I'm doing... Roll me a insight check.
Insight check. I know how to do that. I have a +0. Let's go, baby. That's an 18!
Not bad. Okay. Regulus sort of looks down at his porridge. He looks like a man who hasn't slept. But not... He looks like a man who hasn't slept because he's been thinking too hard about something.
Right.
That's what I can give you from that 18. Like, he looks exhausted, but for the reason that... For some reason that is not necessarily related to just being kept up by snoring, basically.
Right. Okay. I ask about what he does and try and get him onto a subject that's more interesting, like something that
Okay.
he'd want to talk about.
Okay. Regulus sort of... like, Regulus is an older gentleman, maybe in his late 40s, greying beard, salt and pepper hair. He sort of... He puts the spoon down in his porridge. He doesn't look like he's particularly hungry. Sort of leans back in his chair a little and goes, "Oh, well, I'm a professor of history at the at the." He sort of sighs, this long, drawn-out sort of sigh, and then he sort of goes, "I am a professor of history at the..." And it looks like he doesn't like to say this, if you will.
Right.
It's something that... This is something that he doesn't necessarily enjoy talking about.
Oh no.
But then he finally sort of settles and goes, "I'm a professor of history at the Ira Magic University.
Oh, lovely.
And it is very well paying."
Right. Right, I see. Yes. Of course.
I specialize in... Well, I would prefer to specialize in histories of the Divine Age. However, I'm mostly called upon for my expertise in the Primordial Age.
Right. You like Primordial, and have quite a bit of knowledge about that.
I have enough knowledge about the primordial age, varying research trips and excavations. This is actually why I'm headed to Necronir. My faculty members deemed it a good idea for me to get out of the library for a change and go to Necronir for a research trip.
Oh,
And visit the remains of the Umbra University.
ah. I actually don't know much about the Umbra University. Would you mind telling me what that means?
Yes, of course. The Umbral University is one of 3 major magic studying academies
Hello?
in our area of the world. There is the Irul University, which I am a faculty member of. There is the Argential University, which is much further north, and there is the Umbral University, which is located in, or I should say was located in Necronir. About 600 years ago, the Umbral University vanished isn't quite the right word for it, but well, it's not there anymore, and quite a lot of people have gone looking for what remains of it, and a few just haven't come back. And apparently I'm picked to be the next person who goes looking for remains of the Umbral University, which is great. So I asked Corralis to join me for the trip. He's another faculty member of the Irul University. He works in botany.
Oh, lovely.
Which would be wonderful if it wasn't for the fact that he keeps trekking dust everywhere. It's not the point. The Irul University sent me out to find out more about the history, and a lot of the records from that area, that era of time, are fuzzy, especially around Necronir. After the Divine Age and the destruction of the Temple of Matano and all of that sort of thing, it gets fuzzy. Records got burned or destroyed. A lot of the libraries were... a lot of the temples to Invict were torched. Yes. You might call it a time of darkness, if you will, but it is what it is, and we recover what we can.
You do some really good work. At some point, I'd like to introduce you to my friend. He's called Arcus. You two might have something to talk about. He knows of a few libraries, and he's quite knowledgeable about those sort of events.
The red-haired one.
Ah, yes.
Be more specific.
Well, I don't have
The
anything
red-haired
better
one
to
that
do.
looks like he's on the brink of a crisis at moments of the day.
More
Sounds like
specific.
your average university professor, yes.
The one without the scales.
There we go.
Oh no, I was going to say that they're short, and then I was going to go through a bunch of other things.
Ingvar sort of sits down next to you, Prod, as you're talking to Regulus. Fucking hell. I'm trying, but there's so many names. There's so many names. If I get some wrong. Yeah.
You are permitted.
Regulus sort of turns to you, Ingvar, and goes, "Oh, yes, that does make sense. Your dragonborn friend seems a little too armored to be a professor, I would say."
Yes.
On a field of study, I think.
Well, I had best go and wake Corrales, get him out of bed. I tried to build a wall of pillows, and somehow my side of the bed still is covered in dust. Anyway, it was lovely speaking to you, Mr. Maximus, and you, Mr. Svan, is it?
Yep.
Right. Yes. I hope you have a pleasant day, he says, and he gets up, porridge unfinished, and heads below deck.
All right. I really hope they get together. You know, there's only one bed. Come on, I'm rooting for
Only
them.
one bed. Oh my.
This ship is like private transport. This is not shipping.
No, it's shipping in the literal sense.
Yes, yeah.
It is indeed shipping.
Yeah. Grab it.
Anyway.
I was gonna go play like dragon and princess with the little girl, but okay.
I mean,
Oh.
you guys are having a conversation right now, so I assumed that you'd be around the
I
same
was in
table.
this conversation.
I mean, you were talking, were you not?
I was making my usual snide aside remarks, but okay.
Looks like Shadows of Sorcery is kind of like The Office. You've got to have the occasional aside.
I have never watched The Office. Okay. So, I will say that's your Ingvar and Prod's first action for the day, was talking to Regulus. Arcus and Darren, what are you two doing?
Well, first I'm gonna get away from this fucking balcony.
So you head up here. That is where that staircase leads.
The room with the what was it? Why is my brain forgetting the pun name? Not the conjuration room. The room where I found enchanting magic was probably inside.
The room where you found enchanting magic was the Senthal cabin.
Senthal, and that was, remind me, was that the lady that had a dragonborn friend?
No.
No.
That was the family. The bard and his wife and daughter.
Yeah, the dragon
And that
friend
wasn't
is
the bit
over.
where enchanting was coming from.
No. This cabin was, there's little bits of illusion magic imbued into items all over it.
Okay.
Probably a literal vanity mirror.
And which one was the enchanting one, sorry?
This one.
I
Follow the white arrows.
would like to knock on the door with the enchanting magic to see if the occupant's there right now. What time is it? It would be around breakfast service, right?
It's around breakfast time, yeah. Yeah, you knock on the door, and the door opens, and a relatively tall blonde woman opens the door and says, "Can I help you?"
Yeah, just letting me know the breakfast service is going to end soon. I noticed that you didn't come out of your cabin. I'm Arcus, by the way, and nice to meet you.
Oh,
I immediately want to
lovely.
do a perception check against the contents of the room with my magic vision.
Yeah, sure. As she sort of introduced herself, she says, "I'm Claire Senthal. I wasn't feeling too... the rocking of the ship and the breakfast, not keen on it
goodness.
at the moment. But thank you for letting me know. As you sort of look around the cabin, there's one double bed, one single bed. There's a mirror in the corner. There's a couple of shelves where some clothing and stuff has been stored. It looks like a relatively normally appointed cabin. You notice that Mrs. Senthal is wearing is wearing 2 rings and an amulet. One of the rings is enchanted, but it's not enchanted with enchantment magic. It's enchanted with a simple form of abjuration magic. Seems to be some form of small protection ring. You look around the cabin. There is you notice that there is like a case on the double bed next to like a depression where it seems Mrs. Senthal has been lying, which seems to be what would usually contain Mr. Senthal's loot. And there are very small traces of enchantment magic around the edge of that case.
Where's Mr. Senthal? I don't think I've seen him around today.
He'll be with Melanie on the main deck, probably having breakfast. As I said, I wasn't. And you do hear from above you the sound of a shrill flute and the twanging sound of a lute being played.
I'll let you get back to your rest then.
Just
come up and join us whenever you're feeling ready. But I've got a paladin friend. Probably help with any sickness you're feeling.
I might take you up on that offer. Thank you, he says. And
I'll ask around. Okay.
She sort of pulls the door closed, and it clicks shut.
Okay, now to the illusion.
Okay, you head to Devram and Frade's cabin. Do you knock?
I do in fact knock.
Okay, you knock. The door doesn't open. You do hear from inside a very muffled, hello? Who is it?
Oh, hello. I was just wondering if you guys are coming out for the breakfast service. It's gonna close down a little bit. Don't want you to miss it.
I'm sure. I'm sure Mrs. Devram will bring me something. No need to worry.
Is everything okay in there?
Yes, perfectly fine. Just not flying. It's not my thing.
Oh, goodness. Well, we're all waiting whenever you're gonna come up.
Yes, thank you.
Are the keyholes see-through?
Ooh, good question. I now have to figure out what kind of locks would be strong enough to stop Darren from picking them while also being localized to this time period, and whether or not those kind of locks would be see-through.
So here's the thing.
Just
magic
say
lock.
that.
Don't worry
It's
about it.
Magic lock.
I've told you that the locks are mundane.
Just say it's gnomish engineering. Job done.
Gnomish engineering.
Second best thing to magic lock. Gnomus engineering. Dwarven crafts. Straight from Ogre.
I will say that no, the locks are not see-through. You cannot see through the keyhole.
Okay.
Like, the keyhole is, and the interesting thing about these keys, and you actually have one yourself for your own door, is the key is a 3-segment piece. So like it has, instead of having just like one blade like on a normal key, it has like a triangular like key shape that has like 3 blades, and you turn in a lock that you can only lock. No, you can lock it from both sides, but the lock placement on the doors is slightly offset on each side.
Okay, so it's like a triple pin lock kind of thing.
Kind of.
Yeah. Anyway, I would like to summon my observer and leave them near the entrance to the door in an inconspicuous location.
I mean, there's 2 cargo areas right there, so yeah, you can do that. I will grab your observer. Actually, is that the observer, or is that just...
We still don't know this is a murder
There
mystery
it
yet,
is.
guys. Don't
That's
get too
the
meta.
observer.
I'm not getting too meta. I'm very concerned by the fact there's apparently multiple sources of magic being casted on this fucking airship after I saw a bunch of hooded death figures load something on here.
Okay, actually, valid. Never mind. It's fine.
Yeah, you leave your observer on a pile of carpets next to Kazma, who has happily chewed through one of the corners already.
Yahoo.
Uh-oh.
I love Kazuma.
Okay. Darren, what are you doing?
I'm going to respectfully try and save everyone's ears a little bit by walking towards the little girl and sort of pretending to be like enchanted by the pipe like a snake.
Okay, so the girl and her dad, who are both sort
Yes.
of playing together. Okay, yeah, you can walk up to them.
Do I see any magic coming off of them?
There's definitely like small wisps of like this purplish pink magic that you can see coming from the dad's loot. But it's not necessarily directed at anything. It's just like the occasional strumming of a string will let off this little puff of enchantment magic. You can't tell it's enchantment magic, but yeah.
Okay. Great. Ah, what fine sounds I hear over here. 'Tis the playing of a princess, perhaps?
You see Melanie Senthil sort of stops playing the flute, and she says, "Nah, I'm not a princess. I am a..." And she blows really hard into the flute, and you hear this shrill squeal, and her dad sort of laughs a little and goes, yeah, she wants to be just like her old man. Doesn't pay much though, I'll tell you that. And Melanie sort of goes, "Yeah, but you make it work, right? And Mum is always happy, and we're happy, and we're a happy family." And she seems pretty excited.
Well, that's
Okay.
very strange. I could have sworn I smelled some kind of princess over here. Dragons are well known for having a strong nose for princesses, you know.
Melanie kind of thinks for a second, then goes, "Dad, you always call Mum a queen. Does that make me a princess?" And her dad kind of goes, "You know what? Maybe it does." maybe it does. My little princess. And he picks her up and spins around, and she laughs and giggles, and they seem like a pretty happy family.
Surely nothing bad will happen to them. Right, I will spend the rest of this action just like playing around with her.
Yeah, just spend the rest of your time in the morning just chatting to Melanie and her father. You do find out a few things. Melanie's father is a traveling bard who is relatively famous, actually. The Senthal family is a relatively famous family of bards that have passed down their songs and stories through several generations at this point. And Mr. Senthal has recently been contracted by a noble figure out in Necronir to perform at a major celebration that's apparently coming up in a few weeks. And they're bringing his wife and daughter along to attend and see see the city for a change.
Who else was here for the festival? Who else did we talk to who was here for the festival?
Alright.
Was it just them?
As far as you are aware, it's just them.
Maybe I'm remembering your summary earlier.
Is that Brain's companion, as it were, over by the railing?
Miss Devram, yes.
Adorable little girl. Or her.
I mean, if you want to split your action and talk to two different people, I will allow it. It means you won't get as much information from either of them, but...
Frankly, I think we're... Go talk to the highly suspicious lady.
Okay, I will wind down my chat with the little girl and whatnot.
Okay.
And I shall stride over to the creepy lady.
Okay. Miss Devram has like a silver tray leaning on a box below the banister and is looking out across the wide, vast ocean of clouds before her as she sort of sips this goblet of some dark amberish liquid. As you kind of step up, he sort of turns around and goes, "Oh, hello. You're, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name the other day."
Oh, the name is Darren, madam.
Ah. Interesting. It's, rare to see another Dragonborn on excursions like these.
Truly is. I was quite surprised to see your companion Frayne earlier.
Yes, Frayne. They are a skittish individual, one might say.
Hmm. I did. I didn't get much of a moment to look around your quarters, but I did notice the accommodations don't quite seem even. Was Frayne a late addition?
Well, I'm a little taken aback that you would look around my quarters.
Oh, I only caught a
such
glimpse from the doorway.
Way. Right. Well, Frayne, not a late addition, no. The travel plans have been put together for quite a while. Might I inquire as to why you're asking?
It's just I don't see very many other Dragonborns in general. It's curious to find one in such disparity.
Disparity, you say?
Oh, yes, you have a lovely bed, if I dare say so, and meanwhile Frayne appears to just be in the corner on a cot. There are people that would be on their knees worshipping Dragonborns.
You must understand, it's not my preference. Crane's request.
Crane's request?
Yes, indeed.
Fascinating. Can I do an insight check on her?
Sure.
I don't know how much I trust what she's telling me. Yeah. I say 16.
16. Okay. Devram is hard to read. She seems to be honest.
Well, I understand that Frayne, from what I gather, is quite shy and perhaps even meek. I would dearly love to talk to her some, if the time should be found upon this voyage.
To her? Oh, my apologies. Him. Frayne is a man.
Him?
Yes. I realize that seems a little odd. They are very slight in figure and so on, but no, Frayne is a man.
I shall have to bear that in mind. Nonetheless, I would be interested in talking to him. Though, should that opportunity not arise, perhaps you and I could have a chat at some point.
Okay. What are you trying? What are you trying to get from this interaction? What if you're trying? Okay, depending on what you're trying to get from this interaction will depend on whether I need you to roll a check or not.
Oh, I'm definitely going to need to roll a check.
Okay.
I am 100% trying to seduce her.
Okay. Roll me a persuasion check.
Oh, persuasion, you say? Yep. Nat 20.
Well,
Hell. Okay. At this point, Ms. Devram, who's been kind of just looking off into the distance, slightly like talking to you from the side.
I should stress, I
Right.
haven't been wearing my armor this entire time, so
Yeah,
I am
like,
shirtless.
she finally, like, at this sort of, at this sentence, she sort of turns towards you. Like, she actually starts paying attention to you and goes, well, well, certainly not my usual tastes, but I'm sure I could manage a glass of wine.
Perhaps we'll meet downstairs after dinner, shall we say?
I would be delighted.
A nightcap.
Indeed. And she picks up her glass and departs.
how much of this does Prod see?
I mean, it's a broad open deck.
You're on the other side of the deck, so you can't quite make out all the words, but you see it.
I make eye contact with Darren and just make it all.
If
Nice.
my tail was capable of giving a thumbs up.
little nice, good job. Oh yeah. Come over. How the fuck did you do that? How the fuck did you do that? She's like twice your height.
She's not twice my height, but
Oh no, you're taller now. My bad.
yes, I am in fact taller now.
She is still like a half foot taller than you. She's an elf. Like, she's really tall.
How the fuck did you do that?
I mean, everybody's been falling over themselves since I got the scales, so it wasn't exactly
You
very
got
difficult.
mad Riz! Oh,
Anyways, now I can hopefully get into that room and figure out what the deal is with that Dragonborn, because something about that is irking me.
okay. You take her room. Whatever happens, I'll use our room. Okay? I won't use your
Sure.
bed. I promise.
We're not sharing a room, but okay.
Oh no, I'm sharing a room with. That's fine. Never mind.
Mm-hmm. You're sharing a room with the librarian.
Yeah, I temporarily forgot that. Librarian, you might get enough Susan right.
Okay.
Alright, that's my answer total.
Alright. Okay. As the afternoon progresses, one of you roll me a d4.
Oh, who's doing it?
I'll get it.
Okay.
1.
Okay.
Makes sense
Oh.
of the smoothie.
Mid-afternoon, you are walking down the cabin area when you suddenly notice that you see the captain, Captain Regano, coming out of Hope's room with another member of the crew that you don't recognize.
Hiya, Captain. I just try and like take a little.
Okay, so you wave to the captain as the captain is you watch as they close the door behind them, and the captain is talking to this gnomish figure below them, and sort of exchanging furtive words. And the captain sort of looks up and goes, Mr. Maximus, can I help you with something?
No, I was just saying hello. You look awfully shaken, my friend. What's up?
Nothing really. Just a passenger having some stomach issues.
I'm a paladin. I can come in and I can do
Oh,
something. on
no,
hand.
no, I'm sure they'll be fine. They really don't want to be disturbed.
Not even to get over the stomach issues?
I'm sure they'll be fine. I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Okay. I pretend to go in my cabin, and as soon as they're gone, I go and knock on the door of Hope.
Okay. Okay, yeah. There is no answer.
I knock violently again and go, "Hello, Mr. Hope. I'm awfully sorry, but I heard that you might have some issues, and I'm a paladin. I can help."
There is no answer.
Ring, guys. Down
Ring.
here now, please. And then I continue to knock, and then I open the door very gently and say, "Hello, Mr. Hope."
The door is locked.
Knock, 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 knock. "Hello, Mr. Hope."
No answer.
The staff should have skeleton keys, right? If we suspect something bad is happening. Maybe one of us should stay here and one of us should get a member of staff.
I'll hang out, keep an eye.
Keep an eye. If anyone sees the actually, everyone stay where you are. If anyone sees the captain, tell me how they look. Because they weren't looking. I think something's wrong.
Ingvar, you do actually see the captain deep in deep in furtive whispers with this gnomish figure of the crew as they sort of walk up to the starboard balcony, port balcony of the bridge.
Am I able to tell what they're seeing, or are they too far away?
I would say that they're passing across the other side of the deck from you, and they are whispering. And they're sort of like whispering very hushly, so probably not.
I could not tell what they were talking about, but I did see the captain, and they, I would say, look a little spooked, a little shaken up, perhaps. You're a
And
bit too far away here. To
literally
tell what I'm
bang
saying.
on the door. Mr. Hope!
No answer.
Hey, Ingvar, you said you knew Mr. Hope, right?
Yeah, I used to know him. He used to be one of the bosses at the mines.
Do you think he'd open up the door for you?
I mean, I
We
suppose I
haven't,
could
we
try.
haven't even made contact, let alone had him decline to open it.
He would
Or
recognize.
maybe he just knows who I am and doesn't want to talk to me.
Yeah, scoot over. I'll give him a knock.
Okay.
You head downstairs and you knock on the door. What do you say?
Mister. Knock knock. Mr. Hope. Sir. I don't. It's me. It's me, Ingvar. I don't know if you remember me, but I recognized you yesterday. Yeah, close enough. I was hoping I just wanted to see. Are you okay?
No answer.
Excellent roleplaying. Okay, this guy, either he's not here or he's fucking dead. Let's search the ship. Everyone,
Okay.
split up and look for clues.
All right. There are 4 decks. Well, 3 decks that you guys can access.
Can I ask if there's any space underneath the door?
There's a small gap. Yeah.
Like small enough for the observer to fit, or not that big?
How big is the observer?
I think it's kind of beetle-sized, if I remember correctly.
It's a relatively large beetle. It'd be a squeeze, but you could probably manage it.
I would like to attempt to manage it.
Okay. You send in the observer. The first thing that the observer sees is a corpse. Mr. Hope's corpse has been nailed to the wardrobe.
Oh.
The captain wasn't lying when he said he was having stomach problems. There are 3 large gashes across his lower abdomen that look like claw marks. His eyes have been pulled out. And his fingernails have been removed.
Right, so not a good day for Mr. Hope.
Good night.
Is
Roll
that
me an
the
investigation check, librarian.
Okay. Sure.
Guessing I can't assist.
I'm gonna do guidance on this one because I have time, I presume.
You have a little bit of time.
Okay, so that's a 17, and I do a d4. $19.
19. You can get pretty close with the observer. First things first. The stomach wounds seem to be what killed him. The removal of the eyes and the fingernails were not done posthumously. You also notice several large scars around his ankles that look like shackle burns.
Did we didn't see Mr. Hope at any point, right?
You did. You saw him at dinner.
We saw him at dinner once on the first night,
Yes. He looked
which means what?
fine.
Yeah.
Maybe a little air sick, but Other than that, seemed perfectly healthy. Didn't talk to anyone.
If I roll a medicine check, can I figure out how long each of these injuries was inflicted ago? Like, just as a general rough estimate based on stuff like bruising.
Roll me a medicine check and I'll tell you what I can,
Okay.
depending on your check.
Uh, 12.
The shackle burn is months old, at the very least, as far as you can tell. The removal of the fingernails within the last 12 to 16 hours. The removal of the eyes, again, within the last 12 to 16 hours. The gouges across the stomach, same time frame. But
What time is
you
it right now?
can't-
Sorry?
It's like midday.
This would have had to happen after dinner.
Probably.
In that kind of time frame, between
It
the end of
would've-
dinner and this morning, probably.
It would have happened between 10 p.m. last night and 12 o'clock today. So within a 14-hour time period.
Okay. Is there like a cup on a bedside table or something? Something that could be pushed off easily and make a bit of a noise?
No, not that you can see. I mean, there's like a writing desk, but it doesn't seem to have any like cutlery or anything on it.
Okay. Anything like I could scratch and it could make a noise? I'm attempting to test whether or not this room is soundproof. Because if
Okay.
this man was murdered in such a brutal manner, it must have made some noise.
You scrape your little observer's claws on the floor, and it makes a noise.
Do I hear it from outside?
Yeah.
Whatever
Okay,
it's
so that
not.
narrows it down probably to magic casters.
I mean, if nothing else, dying in that particular way wouldn't be quiet.
It would be if you cast silence.
So
Okay,
either there's
That's
so
a very
either there's
horrific thing to say.
who can silence? I don't
Well,
know. Who on this ship can cast magic? Period.
Bards.
if I remember correctly, silence is
I think
illusion magic.
so. That is bards.
It's the bards. At least those are the only two people we've found so far that use illusion. Wait, no, it isn't. I thought the bards were enchanting. Am I mixing it up
Yeah,
again?
they were
The
using
bards are
enchantment.
enchanting. Ms.
There was
Devram
illusion
seems to
magic.
use items that have illusion magic on them, as far as you can tell. You don't know if the Groans can cast magic. You don't know if Regulus or Sen can cast magic.
Do you know one works for an academy though?
You know he's a
Do you know there's
professor
Yeah.
of history, right?
of history. Yes.
Magical history. So it's like an art history professor. They probably do paint, but not like as their main thing.
I mean, I want to see a bard who does painting now, actually, but
Okay. Right. Everybody, let's not make a big thing of this. The captain doesn't want to make a big thing of this. Until the captain announces it, we know nothing.
yes, we don't
Yeah.
know that someone was brutally murdered a few doors down from where we
No,
sleep.
we do. We don't fucking know. We're gonna talk to everybody. See who seems on edge, who doesn't want to talk, who does want to talk and it's kind of sus. You know, all of those things. And who has claws that could make those claw marks, other than you.
I think we only know of one person on this ship besides me that has claws.
Two?
If we
There's
include
that-
Casper.
Clossifer.
3 if we include
Quartermaster.
Gas.
There's that
Oh, the
big
other
guy who's
Dragonborn,
the
right?
co-pilot
Yeah, the quartermaster.
and the Dragonborn.
Right, Frayne. Yeah, he could have done it.
And
Yeah.
Kazuma.
And
Yes,
Kazuma.
we're including Kazuma. So it's Kazuma, Frayne, and the quartermaster.
If it turns out to be Kazuma
Wait,
doing
let-
some kind of
let-
dark magic.
Okay,
lord.
I make this conversation happen in our like in this like in the little rest area, you know.
You want
I'm
to
like,
go to the
let's
lounge.
get away from the scene of the crime and go to
Away
the
from the dark sector.
lounge, somewhere where we're all
I've been
visible.
dumped off the ship. Help!
What? Where have you gone?
I was already over here when you had already selected me, so when you moved everyone else, it junked me off the back.
Oh, right. Sorry.
But I'm like, yeah, let's be over here. Where's Sue? Okay, gang. Wait, who's who in the Scooby Gang? That's not the question for today.
Right,
Right,
Oh.
orange. I've got to be Velma, right?
Yeah.
I'm blue, that means I am the variant Scooby-Doo cousin from the Boonies.
Now that makes you Fred.
I guess the blue, like, undershirt.
Does
Blue
the green mean that
trousers.
Prod is Shaggy? Because that makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, I'd be Shaggy. And that
I mean, the
means Ingvar's
purple-
Velma. No, Daphne.
You already knew Prod was
Ingvar-
Shaggy.
Ingvar's Daphne. Okay.
Okay.
Go.
Kazuma's Scooby.
This is true.
Oh god, we have accidentally gotten the exact amount of members. And the pet that talks, presumably.
Welcome to Mystery Incorporated, everybody.
Yeah!
Oh my
I'm
god,
so
I know who
excited.
killed them! We need to find the Nazi parrot, okay? Just trust me.
I'm sorry.
Firstly,
what?
that was an owl. Secondly,
No, he was a parrot.
Who's a
that
parrot?
was a parrot.
Yeah, parrot.
What? What are you
I'm
talking
looking
about?
This up. Continue.
Alright.
Yes, parrot.
Motherfuckers.
Professor Pericles.
Yeah,
Is a
Professor
parrot.
Pericles was a parrot.
Huh,
Oh
sentient
god, I'm
parrot.
getting reminded of this fucking show now.
It was a good
First place to
show.
go here, no miss.
It was a very
I
good
liked it.
show. However, I'm gonna put this in the lounge chat.
Oh,
Yep,
no.
that was a thing that happened. There was a point where they found power armor, yes.
Holy fuck, that's so cool!
Yeah, that's one
I
of my
mean-
favorite series. Anyway.
Okay,
Look
guys,
past the
guys,
point where-
back on
yeah,
track,
yeah,
back on track.
Yeah, yes.
Alright. Alright, we need to know more about Mr. Hope and why someone might want to kill him. I don't think this is a random killing.
It'd be dreadfully convenient for somebody Ingvar knows to die in an isolated space on an airship.
Hmm.
Like within hours of them crossing paths again.
Yeah, but they didn't say hello or anything.
Yeah, he didn't look great, so I didn't want to disturb him.
Hmm. Okay. Well, we gotta find out to see if anyone has a connection with that. Well, the only thing we know about him is that he has a mining. He used to be a director of a mining company, right? Or
Roughly.
senior staff? Roughly. So, where. Sorry, I know you've told me before, Ingvar, and I'm very sorry I've forgotten. Where was it that your mining was?
Hopewell.
Hopewell. Oh, well, that explains something.
Yeah.
Why don't we pretend that we're trying to go on a vacation, where we're all vacationing, and we're thinking about Hopewell and seeing if anyone's been there. Huh? We go out, we ask, we scout, we see if anyone knows Mr. Hope, but let's not go directly about that. Let's say, ooh, I've been trying to go to Hopewell. Have you been there? I'm wondering what it's like. You know?
That's not the only thing we know. We also know how damn hard it is to crack those locks.
Oh, so we would have let that person in.
Either he let them in because he knew them, or someone with a skeleton key opened it. Which means one of the
I-
crew.
I did think over the skeleton key thing. It's almost definitely not a thing unless the captain himself has it, because if you were getting doors out there that was just like to stop the staff specifically to steal your stuff, you wouldn't have the staff having a skeleton key. That kind of defeats the point of it, right?
Which then means that the captain is a potential suspect.
As a note, the captain locked the door after he left.
Yeah. So the captain does have a key.
Either he has a skeleton key, or he has a duplicate key for every room.
Either
Which
way,
would
You
make
don't know.
sense as a captain.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense. It also means he's one of the few people to get through that door.
Did my observer see anything last night before I went to bed?
What was your thought?
It was in the cargo area, and that would have been the hallway that someone would have to go down from the main galley.
You would have to have been awake to see it. The observer doesn't record, it just observes.
Oh no, that's what I mean. I was at dinner still, and I was probably up for a couple hours before I went to bed. And I hadn't dismissed it yet.
Roll me an intelligence check.
Okay.
Loathing.
I'm only really asking because I preemptively set it up to try and spot something happening in
it's
those
a fair
rooms.
question.
I got 18.
You stayed up between 10 p.m. and you were in your room between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. During that time, the observer saw several crew members walk past. It didn't have eyes on the door exactly, but no passengers went near that area, and the captain didn't either during that time period. But you fell asleep at about 1 a.m. So between the times of 1 a.m. and 12 a.m. or 12 p.m., 12, you do not have any idea.
Is that 12 p.m. as in noon? I always forget.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say 12 is noon, and
Say
we'll
hi,
go-
noon.
Between 1 a.m. and noon, you have no idea.
So I'd just like to check with everybody. We woke up where we went to sleep, right?
Nope, I woke
Nope.
up near the balcony
What?
on the lowest floor.
I woke
I'm
up
fairly certain there's
just
some
outside
enchanting
the captain's
bullshit.
quarters, which is weird.
I just had a decent night's sleep. The alkaline pills did the trick, it seems.
Maybe we should have some. Maybe it's flying
I wouldn't
sickness.
advise. I wouldn't recommend them, but they are they are effective at the very least. It's rather like eating lime, but nonetheless.
Did any of us notice who left the dining room earlier?
No, I don't think. Because we all sleep along this corridor, it's not going to really make a difference.
If it was happening between 1 a.m. and 12 p.m., it means that whoever went to go kill them left their quarters after everyone else had gone into theirs. Because it couldn't have been right after dinner, because otherwise my observer would have seen it, because I was still awake.
Okay, so it must have happened probably at night or in the morning.
Also, that's a thing, actually. We saw Mr. Hope at dinner, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did I see him go into his room, or at least past the observer?
You did. You saw him go into his room at around 11. Apparently, he stayed up a little later. He didn't go straight to his room, but he went to his room around 11. Additionally, actually, no, never mind. Doesn't matter.
Oh no! I feel concerned. Right.
I mean, I might be able to get some information on at least one of our close suspects later today. In the meantime, we have our set of primary suspects. There's the captain who has the key. there's anyone that has claws. That's the quartermaster and frame. If you guys were walking around in your sleep, then that might just be.
Let's just discount us for the moment.
Did anyone wake up with blood covering their hands?
No.
No.
So I think we can safely say we're probably safe.
I mean, yeah, that's the next thing is you don't have the weaponry to do that.
Yeah. Also, someone, like, I'm saying that claws are a pretty obvious thing, but also someone could have something that's like claws, like a weapon that, like Wolverine style.
Yeah.
Ching, you know?
What's a Wolverine?
Wolverine,
It's
they're a type
a
of wolf.
small animal that befriends Canadians sometimes.
Oh, I see. So it's in gnome country. Got it. Right. I'll focus on the madam and the dragonborn. I guess you guys.
Oh, you will?
And then you guys check out the quartermaster, see what he was up to last night. Maybe don't go directly to the captain first on this inquiry list.
Yeah.
I mean, I could also scout out bedrooms for clues if no one's in them, since I know my observer can fit under the doors now.
I don't want to suggest it, but the room that was empty had conjuration magic, right?
Yep.
That might indicate a party that we are not presently accounting for.
Librarian, where did you leave your observer?
I think basically as soon as I got all the information from that room, I dismissed it.
Okay, so it is no longer in that room, right?
It is no longer in that room, it is no longer anywhere.
Okay.
I don't like that inquiry, DM.
I presume that meant that someone was maybe going into the room. Where are we right now?
Well, we're
You're
in the
all in
lab.
the lounge area.
We're in the lounge, which means we
We're
would have
down
seen
below.
anyone coming up to it, probably, right?
Yeah.
Actually, there is.
Yes,
No.
down, not to-
Coming, I mean, it is, like, Hope's room is the other end of the ship to the lounge area.
Yeah. But our elf eyes can see quite far.
Not past
mean-
3 masts.
Yeah.
I can see 7 arms in any direction. No man can match my sight.
What if Prod was conveniently standing, like right here, just by the bar?
If anybody
Leaning
else
against this wall.
Shouting across the...
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
And also the bartender
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, the bartender
About
is
the
literally
murder we're
right
trying
there.
to keep quiet, that I brought us here to keep quiet about. That murder, guys, that I'm shouting across the fucking hall.
Exactly.
Hey, leave me alone. I'm trying to save our asses here.
We'll figure it out, it's fine.
Yeah, from this angle, you would not be able to see Hope's cabin. I can tell you that immediately.
Okay. Is the bar staff is seeing us all sort of like chatting, right?
The bar staff just seems to be cleaning glasses and putting stuff away. They're not especially paying attention to you.
I know, but like the
bartender is
idea
just-
is that we are being seen right now.
You are being
like,
seen, yes.
We are not in the room, and there is someone to witness that.
I do have
Something that
a
bartender
suggestion.
together.
Mm-hmm.
What if you guys went around the ship telling me who wasn't in their room, and I can search their rooms with the observer one by one to look for any evidence of murder? Because if they killed this guy as viciously as I saw in there, like ripping organs out, they got covered in fucking blood.
That's a good point. Alright.
Either we find bloody clothes, or we don't, and that narrows it down to a spellcaster. Because they use
Right.
prestidigitation to clean themselves up.
like those old,
Clever.
just like those old academy wizards. Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Let's go up then. Let's head up onto deck. Try and see who's around. Try and chat to people. Ask for vacation ideas to do with Hopewell.
Okay.
Is that allowed, DM?
I will say that at this point, this is all of your second action for the day. Was all of this discussion.
Okay.
So at this point, it is coming to the day is coming to a close. You all head to dinner. I will say, for the purposes of this, you don't really get to choose your seating selection for today. But the captain does have a few announcements. He says Mr. Hope hasn't been feeling very well, so he's stayed in his cabin. You notice a few other people haven't been feeling very well and are also all in the cabin. You notice that one of the waiters, as he's serving people, you notice slight tremor in his hand as he's putting plates down. And you also notice that the quartermaster is like looking at everybody with suspicious eyes, like, who the fuck did it kind of thing. And then you all head to bed. Day 3 arrives. And I'm going to give you guys a very quick option. Because we are almost 3 hours into this. And I know that a murder mystery is a tantalizing thing. However, I also know that we all have schedules to keep. So, we can either keep going, or we can call it here and pick this up the week after next.
Yeah, I'll not be able to stick around for much longer, I'm afraid.
Yeah, me neither.
I really wanna.
Yeah.
I know, I
but-
know it's tempting and tantalizing. I'll try and keep everyone, I'll try and remind everybody of what's going on, but Elfie should have some decent notes by the sound of it.
Well, I have some very interesting post-it notes.
I also have post-it notes. I have timelining. I have strings.
Okay.
It's
Okay,
all
I have-
it's all down to the big pharma, I think. Big apothecary. They did it.
Oh my god! Okay, let's share notes after this, and then we can do like a classic corkboard.
Yeah.
If you
I
if
have
you
a
want to
corkboard.
use a Discord channel for that, I would appreciate it. Just that I can keep track of
We
what
have
you
one.
guys know and what
But yeah.
you know.
Okay.
We can do it in the ERP text or whatever, session stuff.
Yeah, like there's places, or just like make a Google Doc and share it with everybody. That is also an option. But with that being said, day 3 dawns. You all roll me a final wisdom saving throw for the session, real quick.
Come on, baby, give me. Oh yeah.
I want to say 4. Yeah, 40.
19!
6.
11.
Okay.
Actually, can I use luck and redo that, please?
You can use luck if you like.
I'm gonna use a luck and redo that one.
10 for me. Mistake.
That's a 13.
Okay. Who got what, real quick? Starting from Elfie.
That's a 13, my love.
13. Line?
10.
10. Lydia?
Let's me roll. 14.
14. And Zarian?
19!
Okay. You take a full night's rest with no issue, librarian. The next morning, you, Ingvar, wake up below decks in the engineering section of the ship. You find yourself standing at what is essentially one of the windows into the lifting cells of this vessel.
Huh.
Let me quickly put you down there. There you are. You wake up there. Prod, you end up waking up, like, standing over this coffin. And Darren, you wake up standing next to the door to the bridge the next morning.
What happens in the evening after dinner?
Most of you retired to your quarters. What do you want to know about specifically?
I kinda made plans.
You did. Okay, here's what I'll say. You approach Devram after the after dinner. You both head down to the lounge area. And you chat. And we shall roleplay that now, just so that we don't have to go through this next time. Devram sits down with you. You grab some glasses from the bar, you pour some wine. What do you talk about?
Well, let's see if we can't get to know each other a little better. What exactly is it that you get up to, then?
Oh, I'm what someone might call, an opportune investor. I deal in, well, property, mainly. Selling, buying, making sure people are happy with the way they're living, if you will.
Oh, I'm something of a public defender myself.
Really? I'm intrigued.
Oh yes, I've handled my share of court cases.
Uh-huh.
Nothing of a great deal of renown, I'm sure, but you know, I like to think I make some amount of a difference in people's lives.
Interesting. It
If
is,
Rod could overhear this.
it is rare to meet a, well, let's just say that lawyers aren't particularly, well thought of in Necroneer.
They're not thought, believe me, they're not thought of very well anywhere.
Well, in most places you won't get lynched for being one.
I'll have to bear that in mind before we land.
Indeed.
But if that's how it should be, then I suppose my days are numbered.
Well, hopefully not too numbered.
Well, it'd be a shame to end them without making your acquaintance further. But actually, you mentioned that you mentioned you handle property.
I do,
you happen
yes.
Do you happen to have anything in Hopewell? We've been my group and I have been meaning to travel there at some point in the near future.
Hopewell. You know, the name rings a bell, but I'm afraid not. At least, not at the moment, but I can always look.
Another time.
She, after a sort of a while, she sort of lays a hand on your forearm, and she says, "You know, I do enjoy these talks. Though I will say, you're much more muscular than my usual pet."
It's a kid!
Well, speaking from experience, sometimes
Get it now!
speaking from experience, sometimes Change of scenery can be good for one. Can be good for one.
Now, should you ever want to enjoy a change of scenery with fellow interested parties, do let me know.
Perhaps I'll take you up on that.
She
Doing anything after this?
sort of... She thinks about it for a moment and then goes, maybe another night. My other pet might get jealous if I don't talk to them about it first, after all. And consent is always important. And she
Jesus, it is a king.
pats you...
Yeah.
She pats you between the horns, gets up, and walks to her room.
Well, that was a conversation I just had.
You wanted to know? You flirted with her?
Look,
To
you
get in
presented us
her
with technically a
room.
social problem, and we wanted to solve it, and then we found out it was kink. It happens sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, you know, sometimes a femme dragonborn wants a dommy mommy. You know? It happens.
I don't recall this
You're
ever
speaking.
happening
Are you
before.
speaking from experience here?
Not particularly. Women don't really interest me.
That's yeah.
Anyway, with that, everybody, day 3 dawns, and that is where our session will end for the night. Thank you all very much for joining us this evening. I hope you had fun. Next session will be days 4 to 7, hopefully, and maybe you will find the culprit of this gruesome crime. For now, though, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for joining us this evening. I hope you all had fun. I certainly did. And we shall see you all next time. Ta-ta for now. Say goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Can't wait till the next episode of Columbo.
This is great. This is so great. I love it so much.
Yeah.